So yes, here I go again. This is the Aldi's haul. I couldn't get everything there, so I also had to stop by Meijer's again for a few items. This was $65.97. Definitely doesn't look like it. Yes, I got eggs yesterday. I picked up 12 more. My boys want deviled eggs, so I'm going to make about 12 of them. Picked up more bananas. They were a better price. The tomatoes, potatoes, zucchini, and cucumber. I got 2 things of salad. My husband doesn't like romaine. He likes garden mix, so hence the 2 different types of salads. Got some croutons for him and some bacon. I always pick up green beans. I always stock with tomato sauce in the pantry. Mushrooms. I found these. I don't know how they are, so we're going to give them a try. We love pickles. I could probably eat pickles constantly. Milk, almond milk, 3 gallons of water. I have a Keurig and I'm unwell, so we try to preserve our Keurigs before they die after a year. It seems like after a year with the well, even with filters and everything else, they slowly mineralize and die. I use the almond milk for my coffee creamer. My son drinks gallons of milk. Pepperoni, I found this, and this was something new. They're eggplant fries. They were on sale for $3.99, so I thought, I'm going to try them. For 12 pieces, if you're on Weight Watchers, they're 4 points. Butter is still $2.49. That's all I'm going to say about it. I was paying $5 for one. Now we're down to $2.49 again. This pork sausage is one of my favorites due to the fact that while I did keto, it's one of the cleanest with ingredients. And I feel like it has a really good flavor. Mozzarella cheese for homemade pizzas and trash bags. Because of course we were out. So return trip to Meijer's today. So this was $26, and that was because I had a $5 off coupon. I was still looking for juice. I went ahead and went back and gave in and got the Simply Juice or Simply Orange for Tanner just to take in the mornings. My husband and I have been craving meatloaf. Weird. I guess this is what happens when you get old. None of my boys like it. So what we decided is we are going to have meatloaf sandwiches this week for lunch. I work the next 4 days. I work 10-hour shifts. I'm a dog groomer. My husband comes home for lunch, so for us, this is pretty easy. He can just come home, hence white bread. Yes, I'm bougie. We have plastic cups because I have had boys for 30 years. We won't discuss how many sets of cups I've gone through. As I said, I have a 23-year-old couch surfer. So when he is gone, we might go back to real cups. Otherwise, I have replaced cups so many times, and we won't discuss the amount of mold in them. Boys. The little plates are for my cats. They eat wet food, so that again. I have one that if I put it on a plate, he will throw the plate on the floor. He's just that. And I usually get hazelnut coffee at Aldi's. They didn't have it. This was what was on sale, and it was only $6.99. I haven't had it in years. So, good thing I like strong coffee. This is the PetSmart haul. Good thing I work for PetSmart. I get 50% off anything that says Simply Nourish or our proprietary brands. It's that time of year, so we're starting flea medication. I have 1 outdoor cat, 1 indoor cat. So I'm starting on her because of the fact that I don't want her to bring anything in. Yes, those are tiny little treats. Seriously. Do you see? See how tiny that is? You'll understand. I have a 165-pound Rottweiler. Those are his I go potty outside treats, and he will stomp his feet and ask for them. I'll give him a treat any time of day. Make sure he goes out to go potty. He's actually a very, very good boy about it. Reinforcement. And because my cats are, they will say, bougie, they get wet and dry food. We lost our other cat last year. He was a 15-year-old Maine Coon mix. Due to his age, he ended up getting canned cat food. The other two decided that this was a good deal and they wanted to stick with it. So I continue. So this is actually how I keep my grocery bill down. A lot of this I have picked up off the Flash Food app. In here I have, all this is pork, bacon, pork tenderloins, pork chops. I've got flank steak, beef stew. I've got some ground beef here. It goes up to here. That is all chicken all the way back. We want to discuss the junk food for my junk food fiends. There's a bag in each because my husband and my son can't share. And a pizza for him. It was here from the last time we went to South Carolina, and hopefully he'll eat it this time so I can get it out of my freezer. Typically, I make homemade pizzas. But this just gives you an idea. Every time I find space and I've got room and I see that I'm down on something, I look on the Flash Food app and that's what I pick up. And this is my side-by-side at the front of my kitchen. Yes, I have 2 refrigerators. So the top shelf's all of my husband's stuff. It's stuff for breakfast, his lunches, pizza roll bag in the back. As I said, they can't share. The middle shelf is something I have really been working hard to accumulate. Those are all our leftovers, and I vacuum sealed them. So right here on top, there's beef stew, there's black-eyed peas, there's soups, there's enchiladas, there's corned beef, sloppy joes, basically anything that I possibly would have had to throw out. I vacuum seal them and put them in here. The thought process is a quick lunch, a dinner, just depends. My husband is notorious on the days he doesn't want his junk food stuff. He eats the leftovers for lunch. Well, then the problem is then he doesn't want leftovers for dinner. I understand that. That is the embarrassment shelf. That is all open bags of French fries. When I had 2 boys and my husband, we would go through a whole bag. No problems, never any left, nothing. Well, now that I barely eat any of that, I will eat potatoes if they are fresh and I've cooked them, but I typically try to stay away from French fries, even in the air fryer, unless I'm having a night where I just really want them. So we're not going through full bags anymore. Well, what happens is I put a partial bag back, it gets lost. The bottom drawer, this is vegetables. But one of the cool things I've done is with the Flash Food app, but you can also do this. A lot of grocery stores have a bin for vegetables that are fresh vegetables that are about to go out of date. Yes, you see, I also picked these up at Kroger, and they were 47 cents on clearance. How do you pass that up? But what I'm trying to get down in the bottom to is, I'll pull this one out first. Those are all green peppers that I have cooked and portioned into tiny bags. I also have, these are strips for like fajitas. So anytime my husband or my boys go, hey, let's have a fajita bowl, I already have them and they're paid for. For all of that, and there's even more still in back. For all of that, I paid $5 for an entire box of peppers that I came home, chopped, and put into strips. I vacuum sealed and I put them into individual bags. Now, unless we want fresh peppers, I don't have to buy them because they're here. Let me tell you, they taste great in jambalayas and any soups that I need to use. Now I don't have to worry about buying a fresh pepper. And here's the pantry. It's not nearly as cleaned up as I would like it, but you get the idea. So whenever I buy tomato sauce, I pick a thing and I just buy. I've got green beans, tomatoes, tons of tomatoes, tuna, beans, oils, potatoes, soups. Sometimes I use that. The bottom has chicken broth. We won't discuss the mustard situation. I kept having someone tell me we were out of mustard, and I didn't bother to look. And that's my biggest thing with me, is I forget to double check or triple check. I also have a baking pantry, so you know that stuff isn't in here. This is just basic pantry, and this is what I use. And I'm about to have a cat crawl in here, so please excuse a mo. But real life, I have animals. They're everywhere. But this just came from no big grocery hauls. This isn't I went out and cleaned shelves. This is nothing. A very, very long time ago, when my first son and my husband's first son were 4 years old, we had an ice storm in Indiana that literally trapped us for a week. At that point, I was a working mom. My son went to daycare. My husband would pick him up. I would work till 10 o'clock at night. And we didn't have this. We had to hook 2 Rottweilers that I happened to have at the time up to a sled. We put the boys on the sled. Glad we had a sled. And we had to walk. And luckily, we still lived in town. We had to walk about 6 blocks to a village pantry that luckily still had things in it. And I had to buy things. Nothing I wanted to eat at prices that were absolutely ridiculous. Since then, and that was probably 26, maybe 27 years ago, I've never not had a pantry. I grew up in Indiana. We've lived here our whole lives. We do get snow. And you can be stuck here for a few days. With COVID, you could have been stuck at home for almost 2 weeks. Yes, now we have delivery services, but man, they gouge you between tip, between raising the price of the products, delivery fees, everything. So if I'm at the grocery store and I know I need green beans, instead of picking up 2 cans, I pick up 4 cans. It's just how I have learned to live. Although my husband cries every time he sees something come in sometimes, because yes, we will be moving all of this, is the joke, but it isn't. When we find our house and we go to buy it, we'll start eating out of our pantries and our freezers. But we do all the time. These are working freezers, working prepper pantries. I am constantly rotating. It is very rare that something goes out of date, because I go through this almost once a month at the very, very least. Those items that are going to go out the next month, I put in front and I figure out how to use them. And just so it isn't a complete voiceover, I'm here. I'm getting more comfortable with being in front of the camera. It's just going to take me time and getting used to doing all of this and filming. So, something I've wanted to do for a very long time. I just haven't, because I always thought something was wrong with the house, with me, all the other different things. I cook from scratch. I was taught by my mother. I was taught by my grandmother. My mother and my uncle were taught to cook from their parents, as well as their grandfather, who was a French chef. So I know how to cook from scratch. Cooking from processed foods is actually something I have to think about. So for me, cooking from scratch is just the easy, common, normal, everyday thing that I do. And I love to feed my friends, my family, and I enjoy it. Thank you.